What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for a match preview live stream. It is Aston Villa at home this weekend, 2 o'clock kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and it's time to back up a win. It's time to back up a big win because it's been way too up and down over the past, all season, really.
You know what club you support, right?
It's time to back it up, Sim. It's time to back it up. But look, like I said, it's been too up and down, and two big games coming in the space of, 3 or 4 days. It's going to be a hard task. It's going to be a very hard task against a Villa side who haven't lost away from home all season. One draw, which I think came at Ipswich. But Spurs, on the other hand, have got a very good home form coming into it. But we'll get into the match preview a bit later. But how are you feeling today, Sim? And are you looking forward to the game?
I'm excited for the weekend. I think, obviously, we'll go into it. There's some injury news and some not good injury news and some better injury news. But I think the 2 times we've come up against Unai Emery's Aston Villa, I think we've gotten the better of them. And I think Ange, at the moment, as much as Unai Emery's side are unbeaten away from home, I think we can get at them, and I don't think they're going to enjoy playing against us on Sunday, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, well, let's get into the first segment of the live stream for you guys today. We've got quite a few segments. We're going to go through all the usual match preview stuff. We've got a Tottenham updating on some potential transfer news right at the end of the stream. But without further ado, let's get into the October performance tier list. If you're new around here and don't know how it works, we've got 8 tiers that we put all the different players into, all the way from can't judge to awful, not good, okay, good, very good, excellent, and player of the month. I think Van der Ven has won the majority of these player of the months over the past year. I'm not sure if he's going to win it this month, but the way it works is we take the averages from all their player ratings that we give across the month, and then it's 0 to 4.9 in awful, 5 to 5.9 in not good, 6 to 6.4 in okay, 6.5 to 6.9 in good, 7 to 7.4 in very good, 7.5 plus goes into excellent. The best rating of the month gets player of the month, and if you've played under 45 minutes, I say, you're going to can't judge.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But it's a very mixed month. Obviously, we played Ferencvaros away, Brighton away, West Ham at home, RZ at home, Palace away, and then City at home in the Cup was the last one. So some big highs, but it's also low lows, I think it's fair to say. Yeah,
the wins were really good. 4 wins over the course of the month and 2 losses, which were both pretty disastrous losses. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out with smelling of roses in this one. And I think the first player that we're going to look at is Timo Werner.
Tactics Timo, Turbo Timo. Where do you reckon he goes?
Turbo Timo, obviously we gave him a very good rating for the Man City game. I don't think we've given him other good rating for any of the other games, so I would say he probably goes into, maybe just sneaks into good.
5.8.
5.8, so he goes into not good.
Not good.
So that Man City performance ain't enough to save him.
Is it 5.8 not okay? Is it 5.8?
No, 5.6 is okay.
6 is okay. 5.8, yeah. So you got an 8 against City, 2 5s against Palace and RZ, another 5 against Brighton away, and a 6 away at Ferencvaros. Obviously, there were some very big misses in there, especially in the Europa League. RZ, 2 sitters he missed. Ferencvaros played through by Mikey Moore, big miss. Brighton did get an assist, but we still marked him down for an abject second half. But the game against City was great, and he did get an 8 out of 10. So that saved him from an awful, I guess.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe his prior good performance before the City game was probably the Man United game, where he was getting in the same positions as he was getting for Man City, but in Man City he actually put one in the back of the net. But I think if you compare the 2 performances, yes, Man City was better, but there were a few similarities about them, weren't there?
Yeah, potentially. Obviously, he scored the goal against City. But I think, in general, when you have someone like Timo, obviously he misses so many chances, but one thing he does do is he keeps getting those in those scenarios. He very rarely goes a game where he's just anonymous and he's not involved. And for whatever you want to say about him, at least he never hides.
Yeah, that's for certain. Ben Davies up next, 2 90-minute periods over the Europa League and a 40-minute period against Manchester City. And I think he comes out with a lot of credit, actually, this month. I think he's had 3 pretty good performances. I will say he goes into maybe even very good, but I'll go to good.
6.7.
6.7, yeah, good.
Yeah, it goes.
It's been a good month for Ben Davies. He's been very reliable.
Yeah, 7 against Ferencvaros, a 6 against RZ, and then I gave him an 8 against City. You gave him a 7. So you gave him 2 6s and a 7. I gave him a 8, 6, 7, and 8. So yeah, I think he's stepped in admirably, especially Europa League. You know, he's just made sure we got those wins to the line, and obviously coming in against City in what was a very precarious situation, only 2-1 up. Van de Ven already gone off, and stepped up.
Next up is Radu Dragusin, 290 minutes against AZ Alkmaar and Manchester City, and I think he performed pretty well in both those games. I would say he goes into probably very good.
7.3.
Yeah, very good.
7.3. Good month for him. 2 starts. I thought City, stepped up really well, albeit has his troubles on the ball. RZ defended very well again, and made sure we got the win. So I thought he was pretty decent when he stepped in this month.
Cuti Romero has played every minute apart from was rested in the AZ Alkmaar game, but played 90 minutes in every other game this month. I'll probably say he goes into good or very good between the two, I think.
6.1.
Wow, he goes into okay.
Because 3 against Brighton. You gave him a 3 against Palace.
Yeah.
But, and also, he didn't play Ferencvaros. The games he did play, that's Van de Ven. You get 4 against Palace, 3 against Brighton, but he did get an 8 against City, 7 against West Ham, and a 7 against Ferencvaros. So, when he's done well, he's done okay, but when he's been bad, he's not been good at all.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's reserved the bad performances for the games in the league. Next up, we're going to look at Pape Matar, and I think he is going to come out smelling of roses here. He's played part in every game. So, Ferencvaros game, 81 minutes, Brighton, 12 minutes, West Ham 45, Alkmaar 18, Palace 29, and Man City 46 minutes. And I think he's played really well in probably all of those games. Even the games where we've lost, he was one of the better players on the pitch. So I would say he goes into very good.
He's got a 7.
A 7 on the nose. Yeah, just about very good.
He's got. We either gave him an 8 or a 6. We gave him 3 8s and 3 6s. So I think a pretty solid month for Pape. We've been noting his improved form. Obviously, I think he's got 5 goal contributions in his last 7 games. So he's definitely stepping up at the moment, and he's playing very well. So big up to Pape.
Next up is Jed Spence. He hasn't played a minute this month, so he goes into can't judge. And then after Jed Spence, we are going to be looking at Big Vic, goalkeeper Big Vic, our number 1. Played in every game apart from the Alkmaar game because obviously he was rested for Fraser Forster. My prediction for Big Vic will be, I would say, good.
6.7.
Yeah. So he goes into good.
6.7, yeah. Got a 7 against Ferencvaros, 6 against Brighton, 7 against West Ham, and then 2 6s. I gave him actually 2 7s against Palace and City. You gave him 2 6s, so probably I saved him from a okay, I would say.
Yeah, well,
Big Vic.
He can call you up after the stream and thank you.
Yeah, he can. You're welcome, Big Vic. Come on. I've always got your back.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh. He ain't happy.
Next up is Decky, one of the better performers this month. He's been brilliant. Apart from the Crystal Palace game, I think he's been brilliant in every game. He's played 90 minutes in all the games apart from Ferencvaros 25 minutes, Alkmaar 18 minutes, and Palace 62 minutes. And I think the Palace was an outlier there because it was pretty poor in that game. But apart from that, I think he's had a stellar month. So I would say the Palace one might bring him down a little bit. So I think he'll go into very good.
7 as well.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
just
7.
about, by the way.
Yeah, but you gave him a 10 against West Ham. He got a 10 against West Ham and 9 against City. But the other games, Ferencvaros 7, 6 against Brighton, 4 against Palace, RZ a 6. But a lot of those games were just cameo appearances. So obviously he didn't have that much time. But when he's been starting, by and large, been very good.
Yeah, it's surprising though, isn't it, that Decky and Pape both have the same average rating over the month, isn't it?
Well, Pape's been good when he's been on the pitch.
It's
Maybe
true.
not on the same level as Decky, like in terms of level of performance, but Decky maybe hasn't started as many games, and he's had a few more cameos. But yeah, I think they both had a good month.
Yeah. Brennan Johnson up next, 3 goals this month, 1 against Ferencvaros, 1 against Brighton. Sorry, 2 goals this month. The other one was for Wales. The only games he didn't play 90 minutes was 26 minutes for Ferencvaros coming on and scoring late to win us the game. 45 minutes against Alkmaar, 68 minutes against Man City. What is going on outside? Seriously?
Biker gang. 6.3.
6.3, yeah, so he goes into okay. So he
Goes
scored
into
2 goals, and I think his form maybe towards the end of the month since coming back on social media has put him into the okay category.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to put it down to that, but
What are you going to put it down to?
I don't know. But I don't know if I don't know. I don't want to go into that social media conversation again. But I think hasn't had. Look, I still think he's providing a threat. Maybe hasn't been as clinical as he was earlier in the month. He obviously had a purple patch where he got 6 and 6. But last few games, Palace, 4. You gave him a 5 against City. I gave him a 7. 6 against RZ. Yeah, West Ham a 7. Brighton a 7. He scored. And Ferencvaros an 8. So not a terrible month, but for me, he got a 6.5, and for you, he got a 6. So you're much more harsh on him this month.
In terms of Brennan, you just said, he was going through a purple patch. Do you believe maybe he was like overperforming in that stretch of time? A lot of people likened it that I saw to the run that Richarlison went on last season.
Potentially, I think probably was. I mean, I don't expect him to score every game, so I do think he was probably overperforming a bit. But I also think he is the kind of player with his skill set that has that ability to score goals regularly. But yeah, obviously 6 and 6. I mean, was it an overperformance? I mean, probably a bit, yeah. But that's fine. The players do that. Players have purple patches. Doesn't mean he's not as good as he was in that run. It's just obviously he's not going to go 6 and 6 all the time, is he?
Shame, eh? Let's move on to Big Dom Solanke. 10 minutes against Ferencvaros, 81 minutes against West Ham, 27 Alkmaar, and the rest 90 minutes. I think he would probably have a solid, very good here, Solanke. So I think we've rated him quite highly.
Yeah, 7.
Yes. Yeah, so very good.
Very good.
Another one of the top performers. So Solanke, Kulusevski, and Sarr,
I actually
all
gave
on the
him
exact same ratings.
I actually gave him 5 7s.
And how many did I give him?
You gave him 1 7, 1 8, 2 7s, 1 8, and 2 6s. So just about balance out to a 7 overall for Big Dom Solanke.
Yeah, which
But
I think is fair. I am concerned a bit. 6 games in a row now, no shots on target from our number 9, but he offers us so much more that if it was someone else, I'd be a lot more concerned. But because he's offering so much, I'm happy with him. But it is something I'm keeping a note on at the moment because we do need to see him be a bit more of a goal threat.
Of course, we bought him to be a goal scorer because that's what he was at Bournemouth. Obviously, he's settled into the side really well, I think, and the way he's playing, I can't criticise him too much because he's offering so much to the team. But when you've got a striker who's not getting any shots, that is a bit of a concern. But as long as the attack is getting goals, which at the moment, apart from the Palace game, they are, then it's not too much of a concern.
Next up, we are going to go to Big Fraser Forster. 1 game against AZ Alkmaar, and I think we actually rate him quite highly. If memory serves me correctly, I think I gave him an 8 and you gave him a 7.
So 7.5.
So 7.5. So he's,
excellent.
at the moment, he is our player of the month.
Fraser Forster, player of the month. Come on, Fraser. Good game against. It was a good game against RZ. Did play well. I mean, imagine he gets player of the month.
Make Fraser great again. That's what I say.
Who's there with it? Who's
It's
there with
Mickey
him?
van der Ven, but we'll take him out. Next up, we have got Mickey van der Ven. Mickey has played fairly well, but there are a few poor performances in there against Brighton and Palace. I think we marked him down for. I mean, Brighton, he got torn to shreds at times from Minte, I think it was. At Crystal Palace, he had a bit of a poor performance as well. I probably think Mickey goes into okay, this month.
4.9.
Wow, that's awful.
Gave him an awful.
That is madness.
Oh, I gave him 2 7s, a 4 and a 3. A 4 and a 3 against Palace, 2 7s against West Ham and City. You gave him 2 3s, a 5 and a 7, which has really marked him down.
That is Mickey's worst month by far. By far.
I think that 5 against City, which is probably a harsh 5 to be fair, because he only played 10 minutes, got him into awful.
Wow. Mickey van der Ven goes into awful. He's literally, I said it at the beginning of the stream, he's our player of the month every single month, and now he's going to be our worst player of the month. Well, just look at this tier list for a second. We've got Mickey van der Ven in awful, and we've got Fraser Forster in excellent. What the hell is going on?
We are Tottenham TV. That's a Spursy tier list right there. That's what you call it.
God,
that's classic
what is
Tottenham.
Going on?
That is classic Tottenham.
Destiny Udogie up next. He's played part in pretty much every game. He didn't play Ferencvaros. 90 minutes against Brighton, 88 minutes against West Ham, 90 minutes and 90 minutes against RZ and Palace, and 77 minutes against Man City. So he started every single game.
He has. Oh, he's come on. He came on early in a few
that's
games
true,
as well.
Yeah. I would say he probably goes into good.
5.9.
Ooh, he goes into not good.
Because 2 against Brighton, 4 against Palace. But then the other 3 were 2 8s and a 7. So maybe a bit harsh how to go into... I rated this right? One sec. 5. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've rated it right, I think. So, yeah, unfortunately, goes into not good. The two performances where he didn't play well was really not got him from probably a very good to a not good. I think okay is probably where he should land, because he got, if out of 5 games, he got 2. For me, he got 2 7s and 8, a 5 and a 3. For you, he got 2 8s, a 7, and then a 4 and a 2. So
those 4 and 2s really bringing his averages way down.
Yeah, into not good.
What game was the 2 for?
Brighton, where he got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
He did get destroyed in that game.
Yeah.
But he got an 8 against West Ham, an 8 against RZ, a 7 against City. But to be fair, West Ham lets the cross in. City lets the cross in as well.
Yeah.
So there are definitely things to improve for Destiny. It's not like it's been a stellar month.
Definitely. I think definitely this last month has highlighted his one-on-one dribbling, one-on-one defending a little bit.
Which, last season was a big strength of his.
Exactly. So he needs to definitely get back to those levels. But there is a case to say, obviously, that we're overplaying him as well at the moment. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, and I guess because we didn't buy cover for him really. That's the and Spencer's injured.
Yeah.
And Van der Ven, covered for him on the win week, and then he got injured. So it's a bit unfortunate at the moment. And
the other game that he got arrested against Karabag last month, he has to come on because Dragoshin gets sent off. Pedro Porro next. He got rested in the Alkmaar and Man City game. He played 90 minutes. Porro. He played 90 minutes in every other game against Ferencvaros, Brighton, and West Ham. I think he had a fairly good display against West Ham. Not so good. Well, not good at all against Crystal Palace. Not great against Brighton, but I think he had a good performance against Ferencvaros. So I think he gets marked down probably into okay or not good, I would say.
5.4.
Yeah. Yeah, he goes into not good.
Yeah, very, very poor against Brighton. Did get an 8 against Ferencvaros. He was brilliant in that game, the Ferencvaros game. 7 against West Ham, but then 3 against Palace. He struggled against Eze in that game. He got memed with that moment where he slipped and Eze got past him. Didn't play against Man City and or RZ as well, so didn't get any points for those games. So 5.4, not the best month for Pedro, unfortunately.
James Maddison up next. Ferencvaros 26 minutes, 85 minutes against Brighton, getting a goal. 46 minutes against West Ham, 73 minutes against Alkmaar, 62 minutes against Palace, rested against Manchester City. Palace was poor. Alkmaar, he had a very good game that day. West Ham, he played first half and had a good game. I think we rated him 7s that day. Brighton and Ferencvaros. Ferencvaros, he did score. And Ferencvaros comes on for the last 26 minutes, and I thought he played very well in that game. So a bit of a mixed month, but I would say probably just about in good.
6.4.
Oh, he misses out by 0.1.
By 0.1 matters.
Okay,
one more
Maddison
assist
goes
maybe.
in.
He could have got his rating up by 1, but he didn't. As you say, 9 against RZ, 4 against Palace, 7 against West Ham, and then 6s against Brighton and Ferencvaros. So a bit of a mixed month for him, but not bad enough that goes below an okay.
Yeah. Rodrigo Bentancur up next. I think he's had a fairly good month apart from the game against Crystal Palace. No, not Palace. Which game was it that he started? Brighton. Yeah. Apart from the Brighton game, I think he's had a fairly good month. I don't know if we rated him for Palace because he was only on for 5 minutes.
Yeah, 3 ratings we've given him for.
So we've rated him for the Man City game,
West Ham, City, RZ, and
it's got to be,
Brighton.
Yeah, City, RZ, and Brighton. And I think Brighton was poor, but RZ and Man City were very good. So it'll be hard to say where he goes, but I'll probably say very good because I think last night, I think I gave him an 8. Yeah, so I'd probably go in good.
6.
6, okay.
Yeah.
So what are the ratings?
2 8s and a 3. Really harsh because, 2 out of 3 games he played very well, but that one bad game was quite bad. I gave him 2 7s and a 3. You gave him 2 8s and a 3. So that 3 has really dragged his rating down significantly, unfortunately, for Rodrigo. Again, a bit harsh because out of the 3 games, you gave him 2 8s out of the 3. So maybe that's a scoring system problem, but he goes into okay.
That's definitely a scoring system problem. Maybe we do need to rethink how we do this scoring. But Sonny, I think I found our player of the month because he's played 1 game.
He has.
Against West Ham.
He has.
He scored a goal and 2 assists or something in that game.
Yeah.
And what? He must be on a 9 or something.
9.
Yeah.
9 for Sonny.
So he goes right
1
into
game.
excellent.
Just alongside Fraser Forster.
Is it very telling that the 2 players that only played 1 game are our two top players?
That's just how it is, I guess. Yeah, Sonny's going to be our player of the month with one performance. But yeah, he's only played 1 game. It's his only game since Brentford, Qarabag. Since Qarabag, he's played 1 game. That was the West Ham game, and he was brilliant.
He's missed 6 of our last 7 games.
He has, and he's been a big miss. But he showed us against West Ham what he gives for us, and he was absolutely amazing that game.
Archie Gray played 90 minutes against Ferencvaros, 3 minutes against West Ham, 90 minutes against Alkmaar, and 90 minutes against Manchester City. I think he's going to go into okay.
6.5.
Oh, just sneaks into good there.
Yeah,
alongside Vicario and Ben Davis.
Got 1 7 and 2 6s.
Fair play to Archie.
And for me, he got 2 7s and a 6.
Okay.
So fair play, Archie. Which is it's interesting. You get 2 8s and a 3, and you're in okay. You get two 6s and a 7, and you're in good.
I do kind of feel like we need to rethink how we do this scoring a little bit.
Well, again, does that make sense? Because that means he hasn't had a bad performance, whereas Bentancur did.
Yeah,
So
I guess.
that's what it's saying.
But Bentancur's good performances were so much better than Archie's.
Better than Gray's, yeah. Depends how you judge it. Would you prefer someone who's, when they're very good, they're really good, but when they're bad, they're very bad, or someone who
just
always
someone
has
who's a
base
bit
level?
steady? Yeah.
It's always so I guess that's a debate.
Wilson Odobert only played 4 minutes. Came on against Alkmaar, looked sharp, but obviously
Awful. No, I'm joking.
no
Can't
rating
judge.
for Odobert. He goes into can't judge. Next up is Yves Bissouma. Yves Bissouma has played. He started all the Premier League games, I believe. Started Ferencvaros, played 90 minutes. Came on against Brighton, played 12 minutes. Goal and 81 minutes against West Ham, 87 minutes against Palace, and 45 minutes against Man City. So, did we give him a rating for Brighton?
Yep.
Oh, we did.
We did. 7
What?
overall.
Really?
Yeah.
7.
Good month for him.
Big up to Biss. Goes into very good.
8 against City, 6 against Palace, 9 against West Ham, 5 against Brighton, and an 8 against Ferencvaros.
Wow.
So very solid month for Yves Bissouma. Goes into 7. You actually averaged him over the month for 7.2. I gave him a 6.8.
So I'm saving him this time.
This time he goes.
Come on,
very
Biss,
good.
my brother. Next up is Lucas Bergvall, 65 minutes against Ferencvaros, 73 minutes against Alkmaar. He had a very good performance against Alkmaar. It was okay against Ferencvaros, so I'll probably say he goes into good.
6.8.
Yeah,
6.8.
just about, yeah.
Yeah, I thought the RZ game, he was really good. He was really good. Much more confident, showed a lot more quality. So, delighted for him. Ferencvaros, bit average, but wasn't terrible, so I only gave him a 6.
Next up is Mikey Moore.
Mikey Moore.
Mikey Moore, 6 minutes against Brighton, which I imagine, 90 minutes against Ferencvaros, which he had a good performance. 6 minutes against Brighton, which we probably didn't rate him for. 87 against Alkmaar, which was obviously his best performance, where he was so good in that second half. 62 minutes against Palace, he was kind of out the game, didn't really play that well. 23 minutes against Man City as well, couldn't really get into the game for those final 20 minutes. I would say maybe he goes to good.
6.8.
Yeah.
Bit harsh because you gave him a 5 against City, so I marked him down a bit. But I gave him a 5 against Palace, so that marked him down a bit there. So yeah, it goes for a 6.8 overall, but 2 8s against Ferencvaros and RZ. So very, very promising stuff for Mikey Moore.
Yeah. And last but not least is Richarlison. Richarlison has played in the last 4 games, 10 minutes against West Ham, 64 minutes against Alkmaar and got a goal from the penalty spot, 29 minutes against Palace, 22 minutes against Man City. Pretty poor overall from Richarlison, apart from his cameo against Man City, which I thought he was pretty good. I still think he's probably going to go into not good or okay.
5.8.
Yeah, not good.
5.8. So not his best month, but signs of it improving, hopefully. Very evenly spread, this tier
Very
list.
evenly.
Evenly spread. What was it? Must be the most evenly spread tier list we've ever had.
I wanna just bring up actually the the September tier list and see where they've changed. So it'll be quite interesting.
Van der Ven gets worst player of the month. Wow.
That's mad. So if you want to just run through the tiers while I get this up.
So Van der Ven goes into awful, into not good. You've got Timo Werner, Destiny Ndoggy, Pedro Porro, and Richarlison. In okay, you've got Romero, Brennan Johnson, James Maddison, Rio Bentancur. In good, you've got Davis, Vicario, Gray, Bergvall, and Mikey Moore. In very good, you've got Dragoshin, Papsard, Kulusevski, Solanke, and Basuma. And in excellent, you've got HEUNG-MIN Son and who else but Fraser Forster.
And player of the month goes to Sonny.
Player of the month does go to Sonny, but I don't know, after one game, I guess, look, that's the rules, but can we give a player of the month to a player who's only played one of the 6 games?
Rules are the rules.
Rules are the rules.
I mean, if you were to give it to someone, who would you give it to?
If I was to give it to someone, probably Decky. Yeah, I'll probably give it to Decky for his performances against City, against West Ham. He was brilliant. Even against Brighton, he played well. And even though we end up losing, I thought his cameos against RZ and Ferencváros were pretty solid. Or maybe Sarr. Sarr might have a shout as well, with some really solid displays from Pup Sarr as well. So between those two, probably I'll give it to.
In terms of who's gone up and down, Timo, Radu and Fraser were all in awful last month.
Well, they've improved. So that's ish. Well, yeah. Werner has gone up 1, and Forster's had a massive rise with one good game after one bad game. So
look at this, yeah. Fraser has gone from awful to excellent, and Van der Ven has gone from excellent to awful.
What a switch.
How mad is that?
A flip for the form books there.
Pape Sarr, Gray and Romero were all in okay last day. Romero has stayed in okay. Archie Gray has gone up 1 to good, and Pape Sarr has gone from okay to very good. So
I think that's a good representation of how he's been.
Yeah.
He had a lot of goods last time, I could see.
Yeah, Ben Davis has stayed in good. So Ben Davis is actually having a really solid season.
Fair play to him.
Pedro Porro has gone down.
So not good.
He's gone from good to not good. Brennan Johnson has gone from good to okay. Bentancur has gone from good to okay.
To okay, yeah.
Sonny has gone from good to excellent, but one game, can't really judge. Solanke has gone from good to where is he?
Very good.
To very good. He's gone up. Bergvall has
stayed in good. And our very good players from September were Jed Spence, Udogie, Maddison, Vicario, and Basuma. So I think apart from Basuma, everyone has gone down. Vicario goes to good. Maddison to okay. Udogie's gone to not good from very good, which is a shame. Albeit he has had some good performances this month. But yeah, look, he has cost us a few goals. So I think that this needs to be said. And then who was the excellent? Decky. So Decky's gone from excellent to very good. So last month, 2 excellents with Decky and Van der Ven. This month, it's Sonny and Fraser. I guess that's the nature of the tier list. You never know what you're going to get. But yeah, that is our tier list for October. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think this is the way that we should be representing our ratings in the tier list? How else would you like to see us do it? And do you think Sonny should be getting Player of the Month for just it wasn't even 90 minutes, just one game 70 minutes,
West Ham.
75 minutes.
Yeah. So.